Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into a really fascinating concept, something that could genuinely redefine how you think about work and life. Collaboration creates fulfillment.
That's right. It sounds simple, maybe, but there's a lot packed in there.
Exactly. And our source today is an episode called Fulfilled Fridays. Collaboration Creates Fulfillment from the Abundance Blueprint podcast. It's hosted by the brilliant Naomi Sadiq.
A great source. Naomi Sadiq really digs into practical application.
She really does. So our mission for you today is to unpack Naomi's ideas. We want to explore how getting aligned, with the right people, the right structures, the right platforms, how that can shift your efforts from just, grinding.
The hustle.
Right, the hustle, into something that feels genuinely fulfilling. So we'll look at these building blocks she talks about for structuring a week.
Yeah, the weekly progression.
And then there's this really compelling story, a real-life example that we'll dive into. And from all that, we'll pull out some solid takeaways, things you can actually use. And I gotta say, Naomi's framing for her whole show, we don't chase abundance, we blueprint it. That really caught my attention. It suggests a much more deliberate approach.
It absolutely does. That idea of blueprinting instead of just chasing, it sets a very intentional, almost strategic tone, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So our goal here for you listening is to pull out the universal truths, the practical stuff from Naomi's work. Ideas that anyone can use if you're looking for growth, for stability, something lasting.
Makes sense.
And Naomi uses this lovely symbolic color of the day idea. For this episode, it was indigo, that deep purple.
Indigo. Okay.
Yeah, and it represents wisdom, perspective, seeing the bigger picture, which, when you think about it, is incredibly fitting, right? Because genuine fulfillment often brings exactly that, a broader perspective on things.
Huh. That's a nice connection.
So we're not just going to tell you what she said. We want to explore why it matters for you and how thinking this way might help you find your own purpose and maybe even speed things up a bit.
An indigo lens for the big picture. I like that. But, how do we keep that big picture thinking practical? Avoid getting lost in the clouds and actually do the blueprinting Naomi talks about.
That's a great question.
Because she does lay out this very structured week, right? Each day builds on the last, kind of preparing you to understand the main fulfillment story later on.
Exactly. It's grounded. She starts on Monday with this challenge around the cost of waiting.
The cost of waiting. We all kind of know that procrastination is bad, but how does she frame it? She uses a story from someone named Renee, I think.
Yes, Renee's story. Naomi uses it to highlight that the cost isn't just, say, missing one opportunity. It's more subtle. It's about the momentum you lose, the clarity that sort of fades away. It compounds.
Right, it's like an unseen tax on your potential.
Precisely. It's not just the visible loss. Waiting, procrastinating.
Yeah.
It often comes from not being clear or maybe being a bit fearful, and that creates this mental weight. So Renee's lesson implicitly is that taking action, even small steps, avoids that hidden cost.
And that frees up mental energy.
Exactly. It frees up bandwidth, builds self-trust, both absolutely essential if you're aiming for fulfillment. It's like investing in your future self by acting now.
Okay, moving from passive waiting to active doing. That makes sense. And that leads into Tuesday's idea. Documents, build dollars. Which honestly sounds a bit dry. Like paperwork.
It can sound that way initially, yeah. Documents, admin. Yeah.
Right. But Naomi argues it's actually about liberation, creating access, not restriction. How does having good structure, good documents actually lead to fulfillment, not just, money?
That's the key insight. Documents build dollars isn't only about the cash. It's about how solid structures free up your mental space. They build trust when you work with others. They reduce friction, basically.
Okay.
So you can focus on the parts of your work that are actually fulfilling, the creative parts, the impactful parts, instead of worrying about admin chaos. When things are clear, documented, it signals you're serious, reliable.
And that attracts better opportunities, better partners.
Definitely. It builds confidence, both yours and others. It's an investment in, peace of mind and your ability to grow. It provides that stable ground you need for deeper work.
Stability. Okay, that sounds like essential fuel. But you can have all the structure and momentum and still burn out, right? Which brings us to Wednesday and Pastor James's reminder. Wellness isn't optional.
Such a critical point.
We hear it all the time, can't pour from an empty cup, blah, blah, blah. But when you're trying to build something, how do you actually make wellness non-negotiable, not just give it lip service?
It's tough because our culture often glorifies the grind, doesn't it? Pastor James's point is that wellness isn't a reward you get after success. It's strategically necessary for success and fulfillment.
So it's part of the blueprint itself.
Exactly. You can't sustain fulfillment if you're running on empty.
Hmm.
Naomi's approach seems to be about embedding small, consistent practices, not huge, radical changes necessarily.
Like what, for example?
Could be simple things. A few minutes of breath work, taking actual short breaks, setting real boundaries around your time, deliberate choices that ensure you have the energy, the clarity to actually engage with your goal, your collaborators. For the long run, it sustains the blueprint.
Okay, deliberate, consistent, small actions. Got it. So we've got individual foundations, choosing action, getting structured, taking care of yourself. How does this start connecting to other people? Thursday seems to be the bridge.
It really is.
Naomi tells a story about some young photographers. They learned to show gratitude for guidance they received, specifically from LaDon and Anne of LDS Photography. And this wasn't just about saying thank you, was it? It led to something more.
Precisely. It's more than just politeness. Thursday really starts to crystallize this collaboration theme. Those photographers, their story is like a small preview of DeShawn's larger journey. They stopped just doing their own thing in isolation. By genuinely taking on board the guidance, seeing how structure worked through LaDon and Anne, they started seeing how their talent could be, well, amplified.
So gratitude wasn't just emotion, it was functional.
Right. Gratitude for guidance becomes a key part actually receiving and using knowledge. It speeds up your growth. It also signals to potential collaborators that you're open, willing to learn, ready to contribute within a bigger framework. It primes you.
Okay. Priming you for collaboration. Which brings us right to Friday. Fulfilled Fridays. This is where all those threads avoiding the cost of waiting, building structure, wellness, gratitude leading to collaboration, it all comes together.
Yes, it culminates here.
And the fulfillment story is about DeShawn. This seems to really anchor everything. Let's talk about DeShawn.
Let's do it.
So, DeShawn, talented event photographer, really good at his craft, taking pictures, but he was stuck in that cycle, right? Hustling gig to gig, weddings, birthdays, school photos, whatever paid the bills.
Doing the work, definitely. Putting in the hours.
Totally. But, and this is key, it didn't feel fulfilling. It felt like survival, just getting by, not thriving. How common is that disconnect where you're working hard but missing that deeper sense of purpose? What's usually missing?
Oh, it's incredibly common. DeShawn's situation is a perfect example of the difference between just doing the work and actually feeling fulfilled. Talent and hard work on their own often aren't enough to get you past that survival mode feeling.
So what's the missing piece?
It's almost always alignment and connection. Connection to something bigger than just your own individual effort. So many skilled people are out there doing tasks well, but feeling empty.
Yeah.
His inner experience, even though he was busy externally, just shows how much we need our work to fit into a bigger picture, to feel meaningful beyond just the transaction.
Right. A bigger picture. So DeShawn realized he needed more than just money from gigs. He wanted growth, stability, and like you said, connection. He wanted a seat at bigger tables. He didn't just want to be a lone shooter anymore. He saw himself contributing to larger projects, bigger communities. He consciously wanted to accelerate.
And that's a huge moment of self-awareness. Recognizing the limits of his current way of operating. Wanting bigger tables isn't just about ego or prestige.
No, it's about impact, resources.
It's exactly. Expanding influence, getting access to more resources, tackling more complex and often more rewarding projects. That mental shift from just taking gigs to actively seeking growth through networks, that's a fundamental step in blueprinting fulfillment, moving from me to we.
From me to we. Okay, so he knows what he needs. Growth, bigger tables. And the solution Naomi presents is collaboration. His first action was connecting with LaDon and Anne of LDS Photography.
Crucial connection.
And they weren't just mentors giving advice. They understood structure, collaboration. They saw it as doors to opportunity. And they didn't just talk about it. They actually brought DeShawn into a community project they were involved in.
Tangible action, not just theory.
Right. And through that project, yeah, he got clients, which is great. But more importantly, he met Kathy Hare. And he learned about something called the unique umbrella effect.
Ah, yes. The unique umbrella effect.
Naomi describes it as this smart way to, like, pool resources and networks together for bigger impact, like an umbrella covering and connecting multiple people. This was apparently huge for DeShawn's network. It just exploded.
It's brilliant, isn't it, how that one deliberate connection with LaDon and Anne, who were already operating within a structure, set off a chain reaction.
Yeah.
It shows collaboration isn't passive. You have to actively engage within these frameworks. Meeting Kathy Hare, learning about the umbrella effect. Yeah. It shows how one good connection inside a collaborative project can rapidly expand your world, open up unexpected paths.
That's the blueprinting in action. One connection leads to another within a system.
Precisely. Understanding how those structural connections work.
So what was the result for DeShawn? Well, through this growing network, he started getting exposure at events he just couldn't have reached on his own before. We're talking going from chasing small gigs to being featured at something like the upcoming Veterans Ball. That's happening November 15th at Ruth Eckerd Hall.
That's a significant leap.
Huge leap. And the real fulfillment, Naomi explains, wasn't just the bigger gig, it was the realization, I'm not hustling alone anymore. He felt part of something bigger, something structured, collaborative, that feeling of connection, community, purpose beyond just survival. That's what transformed everything for him.
And that makes you, the listener, think. What does something bigger mean in your own context?
Right.
For DeShawn, it wasn't just the size of the Veterans Ball. It was the shift from purely individual effort to being part of a collective impact.
Right.
That event itself is community-focused, about contributing beyond yourself.
Yeah.
Getting access because of his network shows that fulfillment often sparks when your unique talents get plugged into a larger purpose, where what you do resonates with the community.
That's why collaboration creates acceleration.
Yes, not just faster, but higher. Reaching more meaningful places. It's the real-world outcome of aligning your gifts with the right people, the right structure, the right platforms.
That really nails the core of Fulfilled Fridays, doesn't it? Right there in DeShawn's story. Collaboration creates acceleration. The big lesson is that fulfillment happens when your gifts are aligned.
Aligned. That word is so important.
It's not just about being busy or even being good at something. It's about finding that sweet spot with the right people, structure, platform.
Exactly. Alignment implies that precision, that intention.
Yeah.
Not just random networking, but finding the synergy where your strengths are amplified, the support is solid, and the platforms actually boost your message. That careful alignment stops it feeling like hustle and makes it purposeful acceleration.
Leveraging the collective.
Yeah, leveraging the collective. And, to help that idea land, the original source included a moment for breathwork. Really simple. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 6.
A grounding moment.
It really was. A reminder that fulfillment isn't rushed. It's not frantic. It's steady, built block by block, breath by breath. It just cuts through the noise, grounds these big ideas. Absolutely. It's such a powerful countermessage to the constant rush we feel. Fulfillment isn't frantic, it's cultivated, intentionally, breath by breath. It connects the idea of fulfillment to our physical reality.
Right.
It challenges that whole narrative that you have to grind yourself down to succeed. The steady rhythm of breathing mirrors the steady process of blueprinting, mindful, patient, deliberate action, not just frantic busyness. It's about balance.
A vital rebalancing. Okay, wow. That was quite a journey through Naomi Saadiq's insights, from the weekly blueprint right through to DeShawn's transformation.
A lot to absorb.
Definitely. But the core insight, I think, really boils down to this. Fulfillment isn't about just hustling harder. It's not more hours. It's about aligning smarter, building those connections, those structures, consciously.
Aligning smarter. I like that summary.
We covered those key building blocks, right? Gratitude for guidance, making wellness non-negotiables, setting up clear structures that actually open doors, and then really embracing collaboration. Think about DeShawn again.
From isolated survival.
Exactly. From isolated survival, gig, to being part of something much bigger, getting opportunities like that Veterans Ball on November 15th at Ruth Eckerd Hall, opportunities totally out of reach before. And it happened because he connected with people like LaDon and Anne of LDS Photography and Kathy Hare with the unique umbrella effect.
It's a clear demonstration of the principles in action.
It really is. The blueprint works. So reflecting on how all this ties together, what's a final thought or maybe a challenge for our listeners?
Well, it strikes me that the biggest breakthroughs often come when we step back and see the patterns, like you said.
Yeah.
DeShawn's story isn't just a nice story. It is a blueprint. Intentional connection plus structure leads to growth and purpose.
Yeah.
It forces us to see that we're not operating in isolation. We're part of ecosystems. So taking all these lessons from Naomi Saadiq, maybe the question to leave you with is this. Considering what we've talked about today, what's one belief you hold about going it alone that you might need to challenge? And building on that, who is one person or what is one structure that you could connect with, maybe even this week, to start blueprinting your own path to fulfillment?
That's a fantastic question to carry forward. Really captures the spirit of this deep dive. Thank you for joining us as we explored how collaboration builds not just success, but real lasting fulfillment. We hope you feel maybe more informed, definitely inspired, and ready to start blueprinting.
Keep digging deeper.
Until next time.